Hi, guys. So this is today's lesson. This is how things are going to roll from here on out. You're all going to have to watch this video. I'm holding my dog because it just thundered and he's very scared of the storm. So he's going to be in the video today. He came running from the other room. All right, so we should all be on the slideshow. You can listen to me, you can watch me as I teach the lesson, whatever you need. So if we're looking at the agenda slide right now, it's Tuesday the 31st. Our do now is on the next slide. So make sure you have that filled out after I go over the goals and stuff. Our goals for today are, you can identify the steps of the writing process and brainstorm ideas. So we're going to start writing an essay today. And in order to do that, you're going to need to brainstorm ideas to help you kind of solidify your thoughts and your thinking. Okay, so you should be completing the do now first. You should already be watching this video. Then we have 3 slides of brainstorming to do. I'm going to do them along with you, so that way you have like a model to look at, and then you have an exit ticket at the end. So let's get started. So our do now for today is, would you rather have the ability to time travel or stop time? So personally, I'd rather stop time because then I could I'm very romantic. So if I were able to stop time, then I could really enjoy and appreciate certain moments. Like I would absolutely have stopped time when Mitch proposed to me, so that way I could actually look at it. I was so overwhelmed with emotion and adrenaline that like I literally didn't remember what he was saying to me, and I had to ask him after the fact what he said to me, because it was just I was so excited. I was just like in my, I don't know. I remember the things that I remember pictures. So I remember seeing him on a knee. I remember stuff like that. So I would want to stop time. I also know that if I were given the ability to time travel, I would absolutely use it, but I don't want to. Like I wouldn't want to go back in time and change things. And even if I did, like I feel like it would mess up the present. So I wouldn't want to do that. He's so scared. All right, so take a minute, pause the video if you need to, so you can answer the question. Okay, so moving on. So the writing process. You may have gone over this with Miss Janetta last year, or maybe at the beginning of the year. So hopefully this is review. If it's not, then welcome to the writing process. Writing is a process. It's not just one and done. Nobody's that good. I used to be able to write 2 drafts of an essay and just be done. But then I got to Rowan, and that was not the case. I wrote like 3 drafts of every essay. Which doesn't mean necessarily that you're writing 3 different drafts. You just have your original draft that you really like wrote out, and then from there you edit things and you change things around and stuff. Okay, so the first one is pre-writing. So the process of brainstorming and outlining an essay before actually writing it. So this would be like mind maps. I made a mind map. So there's like you'd have like the circle in the middle. I don't know if I can draw on here. That would be cool. Oh, snap, I can. Look, so you'd have the circle in the middle, and then you have these guys and all that jazz, and then you would add like your other circle. So I would say like dog here or something. Wow, I can't write with this. And then you would do the other things there. That's a mind map. Writing is the next step, so you actually have to write the essay. For our purposes, we're going to kind of be doing the writing in a weird way, where we're doing it broken down, like slide by slide. You're writing it on the slides, so that's how we're going to be doing our first draft. Revising is where so this will be the second draft of your essay. So your first draft is like your roughest draft. This is, you wrote your 5 paragraphs out, you have them, they exist, but maybe they're not super coherent. They don't make a lot of sense. They need to be made clearer. So you're going to maybe add transitions, or you're going to move paragraphs around, like make it make sense. Editing is where you take your revised second draft of your essay and you check for spelling, you check for grammar, you basically clean it up. You make sure that your font is font size 12, Times New Roman, stuff like that. And then the last part is publishing. So this can mean either turning in your final essay, posting it online, submitting it to a writing contest. Maybe you're writing a college essay, so you're submitting it to them. For me, this means you're going to submit your essay through turnitin.com. So we'll go through that whole process, and that won't happen until after spring break. We are outlining and drafting. We're outlining this week, we're drafting next week, and then you have spring break. So once we come back from spring break, either online or in person, that's when we'll actually be like putting the pieces together, and publishing and editing and revising and all that. We won't get to revising. We'll get to pre-writing and writing over the next 2 weeks before spring break. And then we'll get to revising after the fact. Okay? Cool. So, what you guys are going to write is a who I was, who I am, and who I will become essay. Since we read a memoir by Malala Yousafzai, this is kind of supposed to be related to that. So this is thinking about yourself. So if you were to talk about yourself, what things would you want people to know about you? How do you see yourself? And looking back, hindsight is often 20/20. So you see how maybe you were not so great in the past, or you see things that you really liked about yourself that maybe you lost from the past. I really like self-reflective essays because it's really hard to write about yourself. It's really hard to come up with things, and for a lot of us are very hard on ourselves. So we're very hard on trying to talk ourselves up. So this is kind of your opportunity to do that. You can both criticize and talk yourself up. If you're more likely to criticize yourself, I want you to really, really try to say positive things about yourself. Okay? So it's going to be 5 paragraphs. So there's an intro, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. Normal stuff. Your intro is your attention grabber and an opening to who you are. So just kind of a general idea. You give me like 3 characteristics that you think best describe you. Who I was is you're describing your childhood. For my purposes, you can do your childhood. You can also do middle school. Middle school is like a whole other world in comparison to how you are in high school. 9th grade is kind of like you're still a middle schooler, but now you're in high school, so you kind of get knocked down a peg. And then once you're in high school, things are way different. It's crazy to watch you guys mature. It's absolutely nuts. You will go from 10th grade to 11th grade, and you'll like really, really change. You might not feel it, but we, the teachers, feel it big time. 11th grade is like when like everyone kind of realizes that they're leaving soon. It's like a big deal. It's really cool. Who I am is who you are right now. So this is like when we were talking about identities and labels. You can describe yourself as nerdy. You can describe yourself as preppy. You can describe yourself as a jock. You can describe yourself as a gamer, whatever. You can describe yourself as a girl, like whatever you think best describes you. And we're going to brainstorm because there's a ton of things you can say about yourself. And then who I will become. Maybe you have no idea, but 10 years from now, where do you think you'll be? 10 years from now, you'll all be my age. That's weird. Ew. All right. So you'll all be my age. You'll all be 26, 25, 26 years old. So for perspective, I graduated from college when I was 22 and got a job when I was 22. I'm very lucky for that. Not a lot of people get a teaching job right out of college, but depending on what you do, maybe you'll already be in your job. My parents didn't go to college, so my parents will be, my dad, as soon as he graduated from high school, went to work at the auto body that he still works at to this day. He's been there for like 30 years. Sometimes things like that happen. Maybe you have no clue, but you have a general idea of what you want your life to look like. Maybe you want to get married. Maybe you don't want to get married. Maybe you want kids. Maybe you don't. Maybe you want a really big house. Maybe you want a small house. Maybe you don't care. Maybe you want to live in a box. I don't know. Up to you. Totally your decision. Okay, so that's the general outline, other than the conclusion and all that jazz. So we're going to start brainstorming. So you have 3 brainstorming sheets. These are for your body paragraphs. So you can do this in any order you want. I don't care, but it's already filled out in the middle for you. So the first slide with the orange bar, sorry, Franklin is cuddled up against my leg. Your first paragraph for who I was with the orange bar on top. So you're going to tell me your childhood, your family, your neighborhood, major changes, favorite things. So for me, I can add my high school days as part of my childhood because I was the worst in high school. I was really annoying, which most of you will probably say when you are my age too. Wow, I was really annoying in high school. I'm glad I'm not like that anymore. I don't think any of you are annoying. I think you're all great. Okay, so for example, who I was. If I'm going young age, I can say I was a ham. I really liked the spotlight. I was an only child for 5 years. So my sister was born when I was 5, and I was obsessed with her. So maybe I'll put that too, that I was a big sister that loved her little sister. I talked about my sister Stacy nonstop. Like I was in 2nd grade. My 2nd grade teacher would make us tongue twisters for our birthday. So I still remember mine. And it was Stephanie's silly sister Stacy sipped 7 sodas swiftly. Like she was in my tongue twister because I talked about her all the time. I took care of her. There's like videos of me just like making her laugh. Like I loved being a big sister and having a little sister. My neighborhood, you can laugh at the name of my road. It's fine. Skeet Road. It's where all the riffraff of Medford lives. Oh, I should show you guys something. Hang on, I'm going to pause this so I can pull this up. There is a whole bull on my street. My street does not have farms on it. We have the most random stuff that show up on this street. Granted, this is not where I live now. I live on a different street in Medford, but I used to live on Skeet Road. And this is the kind of stuff, like the most random things happen. It's outrageous. It's crazy. All right, so going back. Those are the kinds of things you're going to fill out. So maybe you also talk about your favorite things. Like my favorite color was pink. I don't really remember my other favorites. Maybe you remember your favorite toy or your favorite cartoon, whatever. Okay. So the next slide is pause if you want to do that. Okay, the next slide is you're brainstorming who I currently am. So I would say things like nerdy, plays video games, magic. I'm going to write MTG. That's Magic the Gathering. I know what it is, so like, and there was another thing I had. Whatever. Those are good examples. Okay. Labels I identify with, I would put, maybe I put labels. So queer, female, small, teacher. Great. I used to identify in college as an English major. That was my big thing. English major, English major, English major. Jobs, activities, clubs. So if you're in an after school activity, maybe you're in something that's outside of school. Maybe you have a job already. Major events that changed you. So these could be positive or negative. The major events that changed you could be something traumatizing. You obviously don't have to talk about that though. If that's going to really trigger you, don't do it. But it could also be therapeutic. It is completely and entirely up to you what you want to share. And you're only required to share it with me or with a person that you trust to peer edit. That's it. Then there's like what you do at home. So sometimes some people might have to take care of their siblings. Some people don't. And what you do at home could just be like, I read books, I play video games, I walk outside. Maybe some people go quadding. I used to go quadding when I was in middle school. Stuff like that. Okay. Responsibilities is similar. Like, do you have responsibilities at home? Do you not? Are you an only child? Whatever. Okay. So brainstorming paragraph 4. who I will become. So 10 years from now, when you are my age, when you are 26 years old, what will your life look like? So if you were going to college, I would put college graduate, because you should probably be graduated by then. College is only 4 years. If you graduate at 18, you should graduate at 22. I took 5 years because I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do, and I took the cheaper route of going to community college first, and then I transferred. College graduate? Question mark? So maybe you're graduating from college. One of the things that you really have to tell me is this. How? How are you going to do this? So you have all of these plans, right? Like, you can't tell me, you can't look me in the eyes and say, I'm going to go to Stanford, but then have a 2.0 GPA. It's just not going to work out. Or I'm going to go to Princeton and not take any AP classes. You need to make sure that you're thinking about how you are getting there. And college is hard, so make sure you know that. and you also know how much money everything costs. So if you're like me, kind of broke, you're probably going to take the same route that I did. So you're going to go to community college, which if you do, you don't have to take the SATs. You're going to go to community college for 2 years, and then you're going to transfer to a 4-year school for the other 2 years to get your bachelor's. Cheaper to do it that way. Rowan and Stockton are two of the cheapest schools in the state, by the way. TCNJ's close, but it's a little higher, and they're a really nice school. It's where my sister goes. Okay, the how will you get there is what's important. So if I'm going to say, I'm going to pretend that I am your age, right? So I'm going to say I'm going to go to Rowan University. But then the how I'm going to get there is get honor roll in all of my classes. And then I'm also going to join more clubs. And then I'm going to apply to colleges, right? So I would have like three of these bubbles should be how. And then everything else can be like, where will you be? So if I'm now me, 36 years old, where will I be? Kids, question mark, maybe. I don't really know. I might not want kids. I would like to not be in debt. Or, okay, I'm going to be in debt, not be in so much debt. I would like my student loans to be paid off at that point. They should definitely be paid off at that point. I would like to get a master's. So I will get a master's by, I don't know, but I don't know what master's I'm getting yet. See, I'm not sure, but having goals is a great way to try to figure out what you're doing. Okay, so fill those 3 things out. Once you're finished brainstorming everything, then you're going to do an exit slip. So you're going to click this link, bloop, and it's going to take you there. Okay, so you put your name, and you're going to use the slideshow to go back and do this. So what are the 5 steps of the writing process? There they are. So you're going to write the things that are in colors. You're going to write it right there. What step includes the first draft? We're going to go back to that slide, find the first draft, and then pick the correct answer. Same thing for this one. Then this, editing includes the blank draft in which you check your paper for blank and blank, while revising is the blank draft of your essay in which you blank your writing and make your points blank. So you're going to have to go back here and look for, okay, editing includes the what draft? It's right there. And then fill in the blanks. And you're going to do that this way. So you're going to do includes the bonus, final, and then comma. And then just plug it in. You don't have to retype everything. If you want to, you can copy and paste it. You can do this. Maybe. You can. I don't know why it's not letting me. Okay, so you could copy, and then you could do this. You can paste it, and then you just kind of select the lines and you type the right answers into the lines, however you want to do it. And then what will the 3 body paragraphs consist of? You're going to click on this line. and then boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's what you brainstormed. So make sure you have all of the slides filled out. You do the exit slip. When you're done with the exit slip, you hit submit, and then you go back here and you'll hit turn it in up here. Okay, all right. That is all. Scared Frankie says goodbye. Come here, Frankie. Here, you can see him one last time before we leave. Okay, bye. Say thunderstorms are scary. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.